just exactly what my freedom means to me. I'm a frustrated singer. Who isn't? We're all frustrated singers. We all like to sing in the shower and, well, some of you might be all right. Most of us are pretty bad at it. But who cares? Singing is just a great outlet. And I sing all the time. Badly, but I sing, If you want to know what that is, but people ask me about the music I play, 70s boy, you'll have to go and look that up. If you don't know who Noddy Holder is, it's the only clue I'm going to give you. Herbert Robert Williams here, a.k.a. Herbert Robert Williams Ennis here, a.k.a. Owen Reed. Don't just watch my video. Click on it, go to YouTube, like and subscribe. Scroll all the way down the bottom and you'll see one there that says why I have two names. And then you can understand what I just said. Now, for all my overseas watchers, and there's over 100 now, you're mad, you buggers. 200 by Christmas, let's go. 200 by Christmas. For all my overseas watchers, Australia's just gone through a little period of transition. 2 days ago I was going to do a video and I couldn't. It was a very difficult time. We had what they call a Freedom Day, and the press blew it out of proportion, and they played their role, their complicit paid role, to make out it was some great day where the fully injected were allowed freedoms to roam far and wide, to line up in their thousands at Kmart, to head to the hotel and get drunk, all that kind of thing. Whereas 2 days before they were freaking out and ringing up the police because someone didn't have a mask on, and they wouldn't touch trolleys and they wouldn't touch this, and they're all freaking out and going around and moving away from each other. Suddenly it's like, yeah, we're right, it's okay. It's the maddest shit I've ever seen in my life. I can never understand it. No, I'll never understand it. And I can never understand why people can't see it. That's the thing that bothers me greatly. On December the 1st, our emergency powers after 21 months end. And now everybody's making out like the government's doing us a favour. What they're not telling you and what you're not really understanding is they can't take it past 21 months. It has to be. That's the end. All over. See you later. Our Constitution only allows a certain amount of time, and renewal and renewal and renewal and renewal. The 21 months is it. And I've done that to stop dictators being in power. Now, on December the 1st as well, let's get your conspiracy tinfoil hats on. The CDC, Centre for Disease Control in the USA, is already had a Class 1 recall of the RT-PCR test, the gold standard for testing for SARS-CoV-2, what we use to test for cases. Now, 9 weeks ago, they recalled the test, but they gave until December 1st for all countries to find an alternative testing for the SARS-CoV-2, not use the RT-PCR test. What you may not know is that the CDC holds the patent on it. Now, I have got that there. They hold the patent, and so they control who can test for it. That's what you don't know. You can't just go and test for SARS-CoV-2 using any other format. You can't. You must use the RT-PCR test because they hold the patent for it. And they hold the patent on the SARS-CoV-2 virus. And I can give you that patent too. That's a fact. That's not conspiracy. That's an absolute fact. So they control the virus, and they control who can test for it, and they control how you test for it. And they've made trillions out of this worldwide, trillions and trillions of dollars. Now, they know that the test is faulty because they issued it under EUA, Emergency Use Authorization only. So the injections are EUA, the test is EUA. They are not licensed or approved. None of it is. None of it's all smoke and mirrors. When Scott Morrison, Brad Hazard, Kerry Chant stands up in front of you and says that these things are approved and licensed, they're lying. I'll take anybody on. I'll have you on your knees in 60 seconds. Not true. Unapproved and unlicensed. So that's what you've been injecting into yourself. Unapproved, unlicensed gene therapy drugs that have no basis in fact in the USA where they were created. None. The test that's used was known to be faulty and was issued with an EUA. And now it's been recalled. They gave until December the 1st. Oh, it just happens to be the day of days, doesn't it? That's when the great unwashed is allowed to go and mingle with the injected. 2 days ago, the injected were allowed to roam free. We're still under muzzle and leash. Not that it bothers me. I was born free. I live free. I'll die free. I go about my business. I don't care who confronts me. I go about my business. Whatever happens, happens. The great unwashed, that's us. On December the 1st, we're allowed to mingle. We're allowed to go and do our things. Allowed, right? To be given our own freedoms, our birthrights and freedoms. There's no give. The emergency powers ends. We have to wait for the next pandemic to come before the masses call upon the Prime Minister, please invoke more emergency declaration across Australia federally so that we can lock down again. And that one will be the bad one. We know that. That's going to be when it'll be all blamed on the unwashed, despite the fact that the data that's now so obviously coming out of these other countries where the injected are carrying massive viral loads, much higher than the uninjected. Huge viral loads. They're infecting more than anybody. They're filling hospitals and they're dying because their immune systems are now compromised by the S-spike protein and they can't fight this shit off. And they're dying and dying and dying, and the media's not doing the deaths anymore. They're doing cases. They're not doing it. They're all complicit. We know there's only two companies, Vanguard, BlackRock, that own 95% of the world media. Check it out. It's not a conspiracy. Go look it up. Then you'll know why they're complicit in all this. Our politics here in Australia are in turmoil. We lost a state premier here in New South Wales for insider trading, giving her boyfriend information as to an airport where it was going to be built, who then went to companies, got money from them, they bought land, and he got kickbacks. She knew about it. They recorded the conversation. See you, Gladys. Off to ICAC you go. Then there's the issue of $65 million paid by Big Pharma to certain unnamed people within Australia as kickbacks for pushing the agenda. Gladys is under investigation for that as well. In Victoria, we've got a premier down there who's now about to be thrown under the bus, and the same guy that gave the information about Gladys being removed from office has said that Dan Andrews will only last a matter of weeks or so. For branch stacking, and amongst other things. But Adam Somyurek, the whistleblower, has gone forward, reportedly given computers, phones, emails, recorded conversations, you name it, to IBAC, which is the broad-based commission against corruption down there. And Dan Andrews, despite the fact that when the media harassed him about it, he said, oh, nothing to do with me, just blew it off like it was nothing. Right? The commissioner has then come out and made a statement to say that he has not discounted calling Dan Andrews to give evidence, meaning he will, provided he doesn't leave and step down first. Mark McGowan in Western Australia, the Premier there, has announced that they will import foreign workers to fill the void because of an increase when Australia opens up. We're going to need more of these people. No, Mark, we know the story. Tens of thousands of workers, doctors, nurses, aged care workers, paramedics, everybody stood down because you have coerced them so badly they've refused the injection. You've said, OK, take the injection or stand down, and they've stood down. So now you've got this void. You can't have the restlessness with the natives. So you're importing foreign workers, which I told you they were doing in the USA and UK. And they are doing, where I've checked, in Europe, through Italy and in Spain. In Queensland, they've got a massive class action underway up there, one of the biggest in history, with nurses and teachers up against mandatory vaccination. The media is telling you nothing about this. They're advertising up there for positions, to be vacant positions for nurses and teachers, etc., and doctors. In Queensland and in New South Wales alone, when they had the Premier's meeting in 2019 with ScoMo, this was all covered, this whole ground. The agenda was laid out. This is what will probably happen, they said. X amount will refuse it, we'll have to fill those positions. Now this is coming to fruition. When that senator from WA, whose name eludes me at this moment, when the Freedom of Information comes to him and it's not redacted, you'll see what went on with those meetings and what they planned. And it'll all come out in the end. But we have to fight to get it there. Now, don't worry about the court cases or whether they should have gone to the High Court, why those Supreme Court. Oh, my God, the magistrate, they're all covering for pedophiles. We got that Premier left. We got another one, Dominic Perrottet, whatever. He's in the secret society, which he is, with the Catholics, the Opus Dei. Don't worry about it. Oh, we shouldn't even be under law. We just got to fight. The war is won by battles. We just keep battling. I'm happy to join in. My life means nothing to me. I'll throw it in the ring. If I spill a bit of blood for it, happy days. Don't really care anymore. I've told you this. We just keep going on. Win the battles, get through the darkness, into the light we go in the end. Between now and then is horrendous, but we'll get there. When that second pandemic hits from the injected people, and they start blaming the great unwashed, then we'll see what these bloody camps are for. But that's another story. That's a whole different story, okay? Don't worry about it too much. Understand we have to do these things if we're to get to the end and win. We have no choice but to do that. And that's how these really good people will go. We've had Monica Smith from Reignite Australia has just joined forces with Craig Kelly and the United Australia Party. They've now formed the biggest political party in Australia. Bigger than the Labor Party, bigger than the Liberal Party. Oh boy, if Ricardo Bosey comes on board with them, wow. Or Rod Culleton, sensational. What an incredible political force. Now, there's who say you can't change it from inside the system. I get what you're trying to say, but I'm not going to throw these people under the bus and ignore them and desert them. These are really good people fighting for Australia and Australians. For you too. So I urge you to join up with the United Australia Party. I urge you to join up with them. If you're not a member, then you bloody well should be. We've got to fight these buggers somehow. And if it's the wrong thing to do because they're never going to change from the inside, well, so be it. I'll go down with that damn ship. I'm not deserting these people. They're fantastic people fighting hard. So go along to that and have a little look at it. United Australia Party, Craig Kelly, Monica Smith's thrown herself in there. She now got more back, and the police are shit scared of her now, having just spent 17 days in jail refusing to sign those communistic bail conditions under the communist rule down in Victoria. What an absolute warrior. When I saw what she went through, I gave her my heart. We're done. I'll follow this. This is brilliant. You know, you and Morgan, what a pair. What a pair. Unreal. So that's it. You want to end on some good news? The chooks are laying eggs. I was told they needed protein. And someone said, get one of those meaty doggy things and chop it up and throw it out and I'll eat that protein. Well, they discovered the cat biscuits in the laundry. Decided they really liked them. Now they're farting bum nuts by the dozen. Can't stop the buggers. Did you know eggs, chooks carry eggs in their neck? Look it up. I didn't have a clue, but there you go. There's some bit of information for the end of your day. Hey, happy days. We're going to win this thing. Don't give up. Have some faith in some people. I love you all. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.